All right, so imagine being 20 years old, eager to leave your parents' household, thousands of dollars into a career that you thought was right for you, and still being stuck. Now, imagine finding one online course that costs less than $500 that changes everything. And just 45 days later, you're making $82,000 a year in your new career. Well, I'm Coach Dre, and on this episode of Paid Not Played, I'm gonna sit down with my man Iann Massoud, a 23-year-old who made this exact leap. How did he do it? Well, he's about to tell us. So lean in, lock in, check out how he got paid, not played. Let's go.
Don't play me, pay me. Cut the tech.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of Cut the Tech with our series Paid Not Played. I am here with a very special guest, man. Another one of my students who came through, got some coaching, successfully finished everything and got himself into a brand new career path. So I want to get straight to the information and start having a conversation. Y'all give a warm CTT welcome to my man Iann Massoud. Ian, what's up, my G?
What's up, Dre? How you doing today?
I'm good, family. How you?
To this, I'm very lucky to be where I'm at, and I wanna share my journey with people, encourage those who are considering a similar path. So I'm ready.
That's what we're here for, man. Just to let you kind of get your bars off, tell your story, and all that good stuff, man. So I guess we start everything off with an origin story, man. So what were you doing before you decided to try to make a career pivot?
Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. That's kind of how it all started. You know, I graduated high school. I knew I didn't want to go to college because I believe it wasn't what I needed at the time to become successful. And I did, the first thing that any, 18-year-old would do, which is just, chase your passion. And that led me to some cool places. I started a music business, and I dove headfirst into sales. I didn't know what I was doing, but through that experience, I got some exposure to it. But I still didn't have a clear path, right? So that's my background. I'm very entrepreneurial. Didn't want to go to college, but I knew that I had a knack for being self-motivated, for wanting to talk to people and to use my interests and my passions, whatever they were, whether it's music or anything else. So that's a little bit of my background. I worked some odd jobs, but at one point, I was sick of having to live with my parents, because the way I wanted to live my life differed from what they wanted for me, and I had to draw a line in the sand. Right? Yeah. Am I gonna prioritize my values, or am I gonna conform to whatever my family or society wants me to do? Mm-hmm. So that's my background, right? And when I came across CourseCareers, I saw a very clear path to create a stable career that's long-term, that grows me, challenges me. And I took action very quickly and started learning about tech sales through CourseCareers.
Okay, dope. Let's dig a little. We can get to the CourseCareer side of things real quick. But okay. I want to dig a little bit further into what you were just saying with your story and, just kind of like your makeup. What made you realize that you wanted something in sales? I know you kind of alluded to you had a knack for talking to people, but what kind of pushed you into that career path?
Most of my life, I knew I had... I was very independent, right? And I was very hard-headed, right? I didn't want to listen to people, right? Even though I'm very coachable and open to learning, I'm someone that follows their values and questions everything. And I think that having this personality of like wanting to dig deeper, being introspective and whatnot, really has set me up for success in the sales field, in tech sales. And so I think that's one of the reasons, I have a knack for sales. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
And I'll add to this a little bit, if that's okay.
No, you good. Are you here to tell your story? You know what I mean? My job is I'm gonna give you the platform and let you talk. Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
My job is just kind of guide the questions and try to, have maybe ask the things that I think the audience would want to know, right? So you're pretty young, right? How old are you?
Just turned 23 last month.
Young boy, man, that
Yeah.
is incredible. 23 years old, starting off with in a solid career path. So you already knew that you wanted to do sales, right? You've been done it throughout your music and stuff like that. Also, being hard headed, like you
Yeah.
said, is a really good trait for a salesperson because you have to overcome people saying no, and you don't want to hear no. I'm going to ask you again, right? But
Exactly. You got to ask 3 times before you let them go.
right. What made you decide to take Course Careers itself? Like, how did you discover Course Careers?
Mm. Wow. This really takes me back a couple of years back. And keep in mind, when I went through this, like CourseCareers, one wasn't as good as it is today. Just saying. And I still got results. But that's more of a side note. The way I came across CourseCareers is just through a simple Google search, right? Like after I started my music business and realized that, oh, like where my skills truly lie is in sales, not just music. I started looking into it more, right? And I started Googling the different ways I could get into sales. And I came across more like technical roles, which required a college degree and blah, 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 blah. I also came across, high ticket sales closing, B2C. You might see those influencers online selling coaching courses. They need closers, salespeople, blah, 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 whatever. But I decided not to take those paths for 2 reasons. One, there seemed to be a lot more uncertainty with them. Two, they required college for the most part, and that didn't really align with my goals and how fast I wanted to go. Right, like think about this. I was even younger a couple years ago, and I was with my parents. And being the person I am, I knew that I wanted to move fast, and I
I
knew
gotta
that.
get out the house.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure a lot of guys could relate to that,
Yeah.
especially if they have the personality for sales, like they're very goal oriented, independent, whatnot, right? And so those 2 reasons really like push me to not push me, but made me realize how good of a vehicle CourseCareers is.
Okay.
Because not only do they shortcut the time, but they also shortcut the investment that you have to make, the financial investment. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to work really hard. You have to be accountable, self-led, finish the course, have the courage to overcome any anxiety you have to reach out to companies, recruiters, apply, go through the whole process. But we'll talk about that later. There's plenty of support for that I'm grateful for, that I've used myself, and that I think can work for other people.
Yeah. So fast forward now, you've enrolled in CourseCareers, right? You're taking the class. You've got a thing for sales in particular, and you wanna make this happen. What stood out to you most while taking the course?
How concise and direct and value packed the content actually is, and the way it's structured. It literally is like, here's a bare minimum you need to know in order to be successful and to be convincing enough in interviews to get your foot in the door. That was huge. That like the value for me really came from, there's no fluff. Here's what you need to know and nothing more. And it was just very effective training. The other thing is, like before CourseCareers, I was already investing a lot in myself. Like I've probably invested over 20K just in different sales trainings, coaching, mentorship, and whatnot. And I wouldn't take any of it back. But compared to CourseCareers, man, like I'm telling you, I know the market. I know like what sales training looks like, and CourseCareers is number one, hands down. I'm comparing it. I'm telling you, I'm comparing it to dozens of trainings. For your for context. If that says anything, then there you go.
Man, I say all the time, I tell students all the time, one of the best things that Troy did with CourseCareers was he made it $450.
Yes, sir.
Said, but the worst thing he did was he made it $450.
Mm,
because people treat it like it was only $450 worth of material.
oh my
And
God,
because of that,
man.
but you like me, like I have a background in network marketing, so it wasn't B2C sales. I not wasn't B2B
Uh-huh.
sales. I had a background in B2B sales, so I did a lot of like seminars, listening to the
Mm,
Tony Robbins and
yeah.
the that whole field, and that cost
Yeah. Yeah.
thousands upon thousands upon
I know.
thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
And none of those skills that I got from doing that helped me get into tech sales at all. Not at all. It was a completely different ball game trying to get over here. And the skills that I ended up
Yeah.
acquiring to be in the field I'm doing now cost me less than a PS5. Crazy.
Literally.
Right. So,
Literally,
uh,
man.
so let me ask you this: as somebody who is extremely driven, young, passionate, and goal oriented, was there any a moment where you doubted yourself that or anything about the course careers process? And what made you trust the process?
I guess in the beginning, when I didn't know a lot about some of the sales skills that are covered in the course,
Mm-hmm.
I worried about what if I'm not good enough?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never done tech sales before. Are you telling me I'm going to be like calling strangers and trying to set meetings with them or whatever
Mm-hmm.
an SDR does? Um, I thought I would be terrified to do that. So terrified, in fact, that I wouldn't even be willing to interview. Like that was my experience, like very early on in the course. But
Mm-hmm.
my advice to anyone out there who's feeling a similar type of way is the more content you consume and the faster you can get through the course and interact with the community that comes with it and the coaches and all the wonderful things that CourseCareers has built so far for support, your confidence will literally compound.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tech sales isn't complicated, man. It's
Not at
not.
all. Not at
Not at all.
all.
You just nope,
It's
nope.
simple.
It's so
It's
simple.
extremely simple.
And you got to trust that like your job is to just get your foot in the door and everything else will get easier for you very quickly.
Yep. I'm glad.
Just
I'm glad that you said that because I think for a lot of people, there's this conception or misconception that to be a salesperson, you have to be a type A driven personality,
mm-mm.
conquer the world type of person. And to a degree, you have a little bit of that, right? Like that's some of who
Mhm.
you are. I gotta get out of my mom and them crib at 18,
Mhm.
19 years old. I'm
Yeah.
outside. I'm trying to go do
Mhm.
my own thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of that, but people think that you have to be like that comes with a mindset of I'm not scared of nothing. I don't ever
Yeah.
doubt myself. Like, yo,
Mhm.
doubt is a human
Mhm.
experience,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you expressed that
Yeah.
to give somebody out there that hope and maybe break down that misconception that they might have that you have to be that
Absolutely.
type of person to be successful.
And
And
and I'll say this
go ahead.
too. Sorry to interrupt, but like,
No.
if
I'm interrupting you.
thanks, brother. So to any guy out there or gal or whoever's trying to break into tech, if you're not feeling a little bit of fear, that's a red flag. Like you should feel
Mm-hmm.
challenged.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel challenged enough, go become a rocket scientist. This isn't for you.
I saw a sign this morning. It said, "If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because you had mentioned this shortly. How did coaching and community support help you or impact your experience?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Any fear or hesitation that I had, especially in the beginning, I made sure to show up to calls and be like, "Hey, I'm scared this wouldn't work, or I'm scared I would mess this up when I do get the job, or blah 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 because of whatever." And I just pop in Discord. I get on a call either with other students that have maybe been in the program for a little longer than me, even if it's just weeks,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the instructor, would join us, or even Troy himself at the time. the founder of CourseCareers would just show so much support, and that was incredible, And so that was kind of my initial experience with the community and the support and the calls and whatnot. Later on, I started working with the coaches, the affiliated coaches, which was kind of a new course. Right now, it's 10 out of 10 solids. I recommend it to everybody. I spoke with you, Dre, and I spoke to another coach. Her name's Ashley Fleming. She was awesome as well.
Shout out to Ash.
And what I really love about that, shout out to Ashley, yeah, check her out. So what I want to say about that as a final point is, when you work with the coaches, you get to borrow from people's strengths, right? Like, not all coaches are the same, and they're going to show you things that are maybe not covered in the course, and that's just incredibly valuable. The role playing that you can do, the honesty and the directness of the coaches, like, hey, here's what you're doing wrong, change this. Like, they're not going to beat around the bush. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get a job ASAP, a good job, not just any job. So that's what I have to say about the support and the coaching.
Dope. For those that are on here, you like, I don't have any idea what CourseCareers is, what we're talking about. CourseCareers is an online self-paced course that you can take that helps you develop a skill in different areas. Specifically, we did tech sales, but CourseCareers offers like 13 different things, not even just in the tech field. They even go into construction and things like that. And so the best thing about it is it has a free introductory course. Every last one of them has a free introductory course. So you can find the one that best fits your personal skill set and just give it a shot. See if it's worth your time, right? And it's cheap. Like, as far as price wise, I know the tech sales side is only $500, but if you hit the link that I have down below, it'll save you $50. It's only $450. So go check out the free introductory course and know a little bit more about what we're talking about. All right. So let's get back to it, Ian. So you've gone through CourseCareers. You got your certificate. Now you're starting to work with coaches. How long did it take you to land your first offer?
Month and a half.
Say that again.
A month and a half, 45 days.
45 days. What? So I share my story. It took me 84 days from the time I signed up for CourseCareers to the time I landed my job. You did it in 45. How? Like, what was your strategy? What was your strategy for applying and for interviewing and stuff like that?
To be completely transparent about my journey, is I took the course like a couple of years ago initially, right? And it took me a month to complete. Right? And then got an internship because of the course and the skills it taught me. And then fast forward 2 years later, I quit my old job. I have absolutely no savings, which is embarrassing to say. But hey, I'm like a early 20-something-year-old, so that's fine. I learned.
You're young enough to make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. I learned my lesson, right. But that lit a fire under me. Right, I quit. I was not ready for it. I was in survival mode, but I used the resources I had. Right, I used the coaching. I revisited the content, took the final exam, doing all this, like final exam, coaching, updating my profile, my personal brand on LinkedIn, applying, using the process that was taught in the course, and like boom, 45 days later, I get the exact offer that I wrote down in my affirmations every morning, the exact same number, in the exact same month that I said I would do it.
All right, now you can't
exactly in the location that I wanted.
I do know for a fact you wanted to work in a specific location. That's one of the things that you talked to me about in coaching.
Yes.
Now you can't just throw out those little tidbits and say I made this amount of money doing this, and then not give us details. Like, what was the offer that they gave you when you signed your offer letter?
$82K on target earnings.
$82,000.
In my journal, I wrote 80, but I got
That's
82K. So I'll take the
crazy.
extra 2K.
Yeah. Now your job isn't fully remote because I know for you wanted to work you wanted that experience of going into the office, right? So
Yeah.
tell us about that. Tell us about that.
That was another thing I wanted to like manifest that I was really focused on as I started my search is I wanted to experience my first actual office SDR job in a major city.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, I have the option of working hybrid, but I just love being around my colleagues and just the energy of the office. Everyone there is they're so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could work remotely 1 day a week, but I've ever since I started been there 5 days a week. It's the accommodations they have for their employees. The creature comforts are amazing, and I never imagined like being in the position that I am today. Although I did to an extent, but it turned out way better. And I'm
Yeah.
extremely grateful.
So tell me about that, like the moment that you got the offer and you signed it and you realized, yo, everything I wrote down, I got. What was that moment like? Like, what was going through your mind at that point?
I just got goosebumps, and I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking back to it. I just had this big smile the whole day and the next day and then for the rest of the week, and I was just thinking about like, wow, like my parents are proud of me, and
Mm,
I did what I said I was wanting to do. I made it to the
mm,
big city. I persevered through a very like hard financial period. You know, my ego, my pride took a hit as a man,
mhm.
but I felt like I was in the movie, the Will Smith movie, Pursuit of Happiness. Like it's literally like that ending scene. I was like, I went outside and just like walking, thinking about like how awesome life is, and that I like made it. It was a huge moment for me, man. And I was, I told myself I'm gonna pour everything I have into this company
Mm,
because I'm that grateful. I'm gonna put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, no matter where it goes. Just
yeah.
because, like, I feel like when the universe rewards us and fulfills our desires, like that's the least we can do is take it as far as we can. And I felt like a sense of mission. I felt driven, grateful, and just ready. I even asked them like, "Hey, can I start earlier? I don't want to wait a couple weeks. I want to start like next week or that this couple days on Monday. Go." And they appreciated that. They're like, "Ah, we got to get things situated." So I had a
But
mini
yeah,
2 week
we
vacation.
we love the eager beaver, but we have a time strain. We had to do this all. That's so dope, man. So how long have you been there?
I started beginning of February 2025.
Okay.
Today is beginning of May, so
Mhm.
coming up on 3 months.
Dope.
I've fully ramped up. 2 weeks ago, starting to book 5 meetings a week, crushing my quota, just absolutely crushing it.
Dope.
Uh, and proud of myself.
Dope. How was it so far? I know you only been there almost 3 months, but how has it changed life for you so far? Like financially, mentally, emotionally, any of those ways?
Oh, it completely changed me. I feel like a completely different person. I feel like I'm living a very different life now.
Mm,
I feel very optimistic about my future. I'm very excited about this new industry that I'm in. I'm in manufacturing technology. The
mhm.
company, can I shout out my company that I'm working for right now?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, so I work for Lumafield, Lumafield, Lumafield. They make CT scanners that engineers and manufacturing, managers can use to see inside their parts non-destructively in 3D. And
Mm,
so having, learning a lot about that the past couple months, it's opened up new passions for me, new avenues I want to explore, things I want to study outside of work. Um, and it's just so inspiring. I feel inspired and excited to keep learning. I feel like a
that's
student,
dope.
being at this company.
Always be a student. Always be learning. Always be learning. That's good. That's good. You kind of mentioned a little earlier. You said your mom and your dad, your parents are proud of you. Like, what are some ways? Like, go a little deeper into like the way that your friends, your family, and your support system. What do they think of your transformation?
I mean, I just hear it directly from them, and it feels very validating and it feels very encouraging. I'm close with my parents. I have, a handful of close friends, and me moving out to the city has made them want to do it too. They're like, "Oh, Ian,
Mm.
like you could do it. I could do it too. Like maybe we can chill in Boston. Like I'll get a job out there. I want to break from the and even like my parents, me not wanting to college in the beginning has created some tension between us. But over the years, just by continuously pursuing sales and tech sales and doing well, and always like finding a way to continue to like land different gigs and whatnot and build on my skills, just that track record has convinced them that college is not the only route and you can be
Mhm.
successful.
Mhm.
And that's brought us closer. The conflict and the resolution of that and the persistence that I developed really served me. And
Good.
so those are the ways that I get that feedback, is just in those conversations.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So from from living with your parents and trying to figure it out to $82,000 a year at an entry level sales job, moving to the city, right? What would you say if you were to go back and talk to Ian before this journey started? Being where you are now, what advice would you give to him? What would you say to him starting from zero?
Go for it. You don't need to have all the knowledge in the world. You don't need to have all the experience. You just have to have the self belief.
Mm,
And as long as you're speaking to recruiters and prospects and anyone in life really with conviction, full conviction, you're unstoppable.
mm.
Just get it done, man. It's not complicated. You just need to get it done.
Get in there and get it done. Get it done. Get it done, man. That's what this is all about. That's what the Paid Not Played series is about, because I love to see. I remember the calls with you when you were, Dre, how do I get this? How would I apply here? I want to work in this particular area. How could I remember those calls, right? And when I remember when you hit me up, I got my job. I was like, already? Like that was see, like we just talked 10 minutes ago. That's crazy. You know what I mean? But that's what this is about, is being able to come in and inspire somebody else, right? Who is trying to get to where you are. I know for me, hearing other people's stories helped me realize, oh, I can do this. I can get this done. So where could the people that are inspired by you, if they want to follow you, like where could they find you at?
Easiest place is LinkedIn for now. I am thinking about making some content on YouTube,
Okay.
on sales and personal development, specifically like for young men who may have come from immigrant households like myself,
Okay.
and weren't born in the States and are just trying to figure out life. That'll be coming soon, and I'll post it in the comments for you guys. Hopefully, Dre can pin it. Um, if it's not totally inappropriate.
No, no, no.
uh,
Hey, that's what I'm here for. We definitely gonna run it up.
Thank you, Dre. But the best place for now is LinkedIn. Look me up. I'm Iann Massoud. IANN MASSOUD. We'll also drop that in the comments for you guys.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah, message me. I'm very happy to hop on a call with anyone who needs encouragement or advice. But you obviously got Dre. Dre's great, and all the other CourseCareers coaches.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Ian, thank you first and foremost for this, for sharing this with us. I'm gonna let you go, let you get out of here, get back to the rest of your day. But here at Cut the Tech, we have a motto. We live by that motto. And you have successfully walked that motto out. And we tell these companies, don't play me, pay me, cut the tech. That's what we say. Right. So what I want you to do, since it's your moment, your time to shine, you go ahead and take us out of here today, man.
Don't play me, pay me. This is Cut the Tech.
Hurt.
Don't play me. Pay me. Cut the tech.
Thank you for checking out the Cut the Tech channel. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I personally try to reply to each and every one of them. Now, if you want more information on how you can make a career pivot in 3 easy steps, please check us out at cutthetechworldwide.com. Get more information there. Lastly, check out this video right here that YouTube thinks that you would enjoy. And until the next time that we meet, remember the Cut the Tech motto: don't play me, pay me. Cut the Tech. You heard?